You're rocking with King Troll, and I'm your boy, just call me Monty, aka King Gigawatt. Pete, just call me Monty, back with an intro that make your head turn. Wave gang, making it happen, when will they ever learn that we stay strapped with the heat? Some all mass burn, and I'm just here to assist, like Steve Nash, turn back? Nah, never, I'm a goat with the intros. King Troll, EBL shooting, so get low. Squad so exclusive, if you ain't, then it don't matter. Right there's your home run, when we pitch like a nice batter. It's battle rap, and when it comes to that, we go talk. Exclusive battle league, man, they think it's a cakewalk. Until they come to battle and get smoked by a killer. Stop sleeping on the league, bet not come with mad filler. We out here, see I move different, just say the word. Call me David with that slingshot, throwing them angry birds. Yeah, it's King Jigger, I'm just talking, so pay attention. This is just the intro, but me snapping was my decision. Wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Anybody sleeping on us, we gon' put them to bed. It's wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Don't get it twisted, dread like you got something to dread. It's wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Anybody sleeping on us, we gon' put them to bed. It's wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Don't get it twisted, dread like you got something to dread.
Nacho Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Live on YouTube on the EBL exclusive Battle League Network. Hosted by Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho, nacho supreme, nacho Sunday.
Nacho Sundays. Where it's not your
Sunday.
opinion, it's Nacho's opinion.
Nacho
Hosted by
Sunday.
Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho, nacho supreme,
Nacho Sundays. Where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. Hosted by Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho, nacho supreme, nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays.
Hosted by Fibonacci Brown. Don't forget to go to FibonacciBrown.com to get your copy of Growing Down.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays.
Brought to you by the exclusive Battle League Network. EBL.
Did you guys miss me? I missed you guys. I missed each and every one of you guys. It's been too long. Welcome to Fibonacci Brown and Nacho Sunday Season 2. We are in Season 2, guys. I'm excited. I haven't seen you guys in so long, and there is so much to talk about. When I tell you that we have things to talk about from the introduction through to the end of the show, like it's going to be busy. So let me just first say thank you guys to all of my supporters who have come back for season 2 of Nacho Sundays. I want to say thank you to my EBL family who has definitely been on my head. Like, listen, you better get this Nacho Sundays season 2 going. We miss you. We want to see you. And I'm glad to be here. So before I get too far into the season, I want to first not let another second go by without mentioning the chat. You guys are a huge part of my show. Let me let you know that in season 2, nothing has changed. We will be checking the chat, probably even more so because my chat is lit. I don't know where y'all be at on YouTube in your chats, but my chat be lit. So you might want to come over here and see what my chat doing because we lit over here. Let's get into some of our announcements. I want to let you guys know, first of all, if you were not tuned in to the Scheme on Them 2 card on January 24th, you are missing out. And please, please, please go back and check that out. That is a collaboration with EBL Exclusive Battle League and Bar You to Death and Bass. We definitely got a show that day. Like, there was some definite surprises on that card. From what I understand, one of the standouts on that card was Miss Vicious. She definitely got the memo on the Scheme on Them card. So shouts out to her. I don't want to let the day go by without Nacho Sundays actually giving her flowers. So yes, you killed on that card, mama. Please, you guys, check out that Scheme on Them 2 card. It was live on January 24th, but you can definitely go back and check the replay. Also, don't forget to make sure you tune in and are subscribed to Fibonacci Brown's channel as well as EBL Exclusives channel, because they are going to do another collaboration with Jag and EBL. It's a us versus them. We doing it again, y'all. It's going to be live on February 24th. From what I understand, this might even be in the Twitter spaces. So make sure you guys are tuned in to catch that, because that Jag card don't let them down. And you know, that Spaces audience, they gonna tell you the truth. So if you don't bring your bars, you don't bring your A game, they're gonna let you know. So you guys make sure you are tuned in, make sure you are up to date on your Twitter and following everybody in their right pages, so you can tune in for the Jag card. There's the EBL versus Jag card that's going to be on February 23rd. From what I understand, there are quite the matchups on that card. I did get a message where they gave me some of the matchups. We have Villa versus Pyro. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I hope I'm reading this right. Brills versus Newborn. Listen, it's been long enough since my last time I saw a Brills battle. And when I tell you that Brills is night and day, you would talk to him and then you would see him battle and wouldn't believe it was the same person. So he's battling on this card. I definitely want to pull up. That's Brills versus Newborn, Villa versus Pyro, Spasmatic versus Quest de God. Okay, Spaz was on the last card on that January 24th card, so make sure you check him out there and pull up to check him out here. Lockhart versus Big Kane Marco. I'm not familiar with Big K Marco. I am familiar with Lockhart. So anybody battling Lockhart, I'm going to have to assume is worth their salt in lyrics. So I'm definitely pulling up for that. One of my faves, Jay Normus, is battling Bully Man the Mic. Oh, this sounds, the names just sound like this is going to be interesting. We also have Art versus Traumatos. And this Traumatos, the S is a $. And we have Miss Vicious versus Everything Sin. Miss Vicious is cooking. You know, I'm a fan. I want to see what she's gonna do. And then we got Punch God versus Trey Spears. That card sounds like it is going to be one for the books. Again, that is an EBL versus Jag card. If you know anything about those EBL versus Jag cards, they do not disappoint. It's always a good time. From what I understand, it is going to be live on Twitter. Make sure you are following the correct pages so that you too can be there for the Jag versus EBL card. If it ain't exclusive, it don't matter. So I'm going to slide over to my chat right now. My chat is busy. Again, I missed you guys. It's been such a long time. Greg the Great is in my chat. He's definitely got a bunch of O's on the go, Nacho. I appreciate that. We also have exclusive Battle League pulling up, of course. And EBL's very own King has pulled up. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you guys. Coat the Goat pulled up. I'm gonna chat with you after the show. Coat the Goat. We gotta talk. And EBL's very own Commodity is in the chat. Commodity is the hidden hand. He is definitely the guy behind the scenes that I want to make sure gets all the credit he's supposed to get, because he makes a lot of this stuff happen. I don't know if you guys caught my really cool logo. Let me see if I can show you guys. So shout out to Diddy. I appreciate him looking out for the Nacho Sundays logo. And oh my goodness, Get Your Bars Up is in the building. We appreciate it. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So it's been a long time, you guys. It's been a really long time since we had a chance to catch up. And I know you guys are probably like, listen, Nacho, I love you. You know, we tuning in. We Nacho-tarians. It is not 6 o'clock. You said that Nacho Sunday starts at 6 o'clock. And this is, listen, I have a really good reason for starting very early. As you guys know, I am a Detroit girl. Most of my shows start out with, what up, Doe family? So that should tell you that I'm definitely going to support my city. And right now, my city's football team, the Lions, are doing phenomenal right now. Shout out to the Lions. They've got a game today at 6:30. So there was no way I was going to be willing to cut the show in half in order to make the Lions game. So I decided to do the show early. That way I can support my Nacho-tarians and I can also support my beloved football team. If you know anything about Detroit and their Lions fans, we are diehard. We have lost with them and we are certainly going to be there to win with them. So I'm tuning into the game at 6:30. I hope you guys tune in with some good energy so the Lions can win. Go Lions! I'm ready. I'm ready to be in a championship city. I'm ready. I don't know how y'all feel about y'all city and y'all football team, but I'm gonna support mine. And they got a game at 6:30, so I gotta be there. I have to tune in. I'm changing my shirt. I'm gonna put on my Lions shirt. I'm gonna be ready. So go Lions. So that is why I'm gonna start the show. I've started the show early, but it didn't mean that I was going to give you any less of Nacho Sunday. So we're here early, but we are here and we are definitely gonna have a lot to talk about. Since the last time we've seen each other, oh my gosh, like what is going on in the world? Is it just me? Does it seem like there's a lot going on in the world right now? Like a lot of things since the last Nacho Sundays have just gone on their head, right? You know what? I'm sorry. My chat caught my eye. I'm seeing Let's Go Giants in my chat. We will not tolerate any Lions slander here on Nacho Sundays. King, I see how you do. I see how you do. That's okay. That's okay. Let's go Lions. Let's go Lions. Let's go Lions. Anywho, you know, as we normally do on Nacho Sundays, we roll out our nacho and we eat and devour our nacho through the show. And we normally start our show out with the nacho cheese. And on this week's Nacho Sundays, Nacho Cheese, where we talk about money, ways to make money work for us, with different things going on with money, just ways to stay abreast of what's happening when it comes to our money, how we spend it, how we use it, and the like. So this week, I need to explain what I came across in searching about ways to make money from home. Okay. Now, you guys know that in season 1, initially our show started with different things that you could do to work from home to make money. And I was doing my usual search and I came across something that made my jaw drop. Okay. Something that's called FinDom. Okay. It's called Financial Dominatrix. And in short, it's called FinDom. And from what I understand, people choose to be abused by sugar babies financially in exchange for no contact, no visual references of the receiver, and communicate mostly via text. Now, I have never heard of anything like this in my life, but FinDom, financial domination, is actually a thing. There are websites. I'm not going to advertise those websites, but there are websites who cater to this particular audience of work from home people. And people are giving up to thousands, tens of thousands to strangers, people they never meet, never have a visual reference of, and only communicate with through text. So many of these relationships have resulted in some of the relatives of the givers of these funds trying to take criminal action against these receivers. And they aren't having very much luck because not all of these givers are people who you would assume would be taken advantage of, the elderly or the mentally challenged. These are actually people of sound mind and body who are of adult age. These are not necessarily elderly people, but they are adults. And they are willingly getting into FinDom relationships. So I'm going to put this to my audience. It's not something I would do in particular. It's not even something that I would condone. But given that there is literally all consent and no visual reference, is that something that you think is okay? Is there a moral challenge there? I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't encourage anybody to do it. But I would love to know how my audience feels, because this was something that just totally took me aback. Like I said in the beginning, my jaw dropped. I'm like, wait a minute, FinDom, financial dominatrix? And I mean, you know, we're all adults here. We all know that they're what dominatrix is. So when you put financial in front of that and you take away a certain financial control, do you think that's okay to do to someone, even if they consent to doing it? I think there's a moral challenge there. It wouldn't be something I would do, but, you know, maybe, you know, that somebody can find, you know, a reason to get into something like this. It's not, from what I understand, it's not necessarily even a sexual relationship. It doesn't even have to be like sexting or anything like that. It's literally no visual reference, only communicate through text, verbal control through these texts, demands for money. You can demand, from what I saw as examples, there were demands for money for just obscene things. I need another pair of Louboutins. There's an Hermes bag that matches my outfit today. I need it now. Like very financial, very financial dominance in the language. When you look at some of the text exchange examples that I came across, it was just really, it was more than what I was expecting. I didn't know such a thing existed, but it's a thriving little community and people are really getting money this way. Like this isn't even pimping from what I can see. Like it's not, you know, I'm not sure what to call it. So I'm going to put that on my Nachotarians. If you guys have a name for this and what you call this, I'm floored. You know, I didn't think that I would ever come across such on the nacho cheese of Nacho Sundays, but here we are. You know, so much has changed since season 1. I'm looking at my chat right now. I'm seeing a bunch of familiar faces and I so appreciate it. I see Apostle in the chat. Mr. Entertainment, he said they're crazy, respectfully. You know, I get it. I'm not sure what to understand of that kind of dynamic. I had never heard of anything. I'm seeing Trap Buddha in my chat. How you doing, Trap Buddha, this Sunday? I appreciate you for pulling up. Yeah, this is new to me, you guys. So, I would love to hear your take on what this could be called besides findom. Oh my gosh. Dave said it's just plain old simping. Oh wow, I see Art in the chat. He said we missed you, Nachi. I missed you guys too. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around as loyal fans of the Nacho Sunday show. You guys don't understand how much I miss doing the show, and I miss talking to you guys. It was really a good time. And when I'm not doing the show and I'm trying to take some time, I do want to give you guys a little background what's been kind of going on with the show. I know it looks a tad bit different in the back. We are still doing construction, but I literally moved locations, you guys. I had to totally upend some things and turn some things around. And at the end of the day, Nacho is a homeowner and we are moving forward to bigger and better things. So that happened over the Nacho Sundays break. And we're getting the set better for you so that you've got some great aesthetics to look at while you are watching and tuning into the Nacho Sunday show. So again, thank you guys. I appreciate that, Art. I see Greg is agreeing with Dave. Simping. That's what he said it's called when you are engaged in a fin-dom relationship. I had never heard of such. I think somebody put in the chat, I'm not sure where, they thought I said femdom. And that is something totally different. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, so forgive me if I did. But no, it's fin as in financial dominatrix. So yes, this is very interesting, giving money to strangers because you are obsessed with a certain amount of control that you receive some benefit from, I have to guess. But yeah, the findom, very interesting. Speaking of giving money to strangers, since the last time that we talked, there has been a huge upend in the news and in social media streets about DJ Envy and his buddy. I believe his name is Caesar Pina, something along that line. Help me out in the chat if I'm wrong. But yes, there was a whole DJ Envy issue going on where he teamed up with this Caesar guy who ultimately convinced many people to buy into these properties that were already capturing investments from other investors. And basically, they used the same property on several investors to collect tens of thousands of dollars. And it turned out it was all a very clever Ponzi scheme, so to speak. People did not receive the alleged 30% return on investment or ROI. And ultimately, many people who found that they weren't going to receive an investment based on what they had put in decided to be vocal about their reasons for even wanting to invest. And a lot of those reasons pointed right back to DJ Envy. A lot of people said that they only invested because he stamped it with his approval. He brought this gentleman to the environment of the radio station where he could reach a larger platform. And there were also commercials running different things on social media, different reels on social media, where DJ Envy was stamping this Caesar guy who was ultimately taking people's money and not returning any of it. And from what I understand, there were some people did receive some of what they were promised regarding an ROI, not quite the amount they expected, but when it was time for these ROIs to continue to come in, this is where everybody started thinking something's getting fishy because they stopped. So a lot of people were saying, no, that's the nature of investments. You make an investment, then you have to expect that you may not get your investment back. But when you have somebody nearly guaranteeing you a 30% ROI, especially in real estate, that's not small money. And then you have a credible, or what you believe is a credible stamp on it, like DJ Envy. That's for a lot of people is confirmation and credit enough to say, yeah, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to go ahead and, invest in this. This is a good guy. I think one of the guys who did the investment was DJ Envy's car guy, the guy who sells his cars or details his cars or something with his cars. But ultimately, DJ Envy tried to push back to say, hey, this guy, you people feel like you got duped out of money. He duped me out of money too. I gave up almost 500,000 and, I don't have my money either. And a lot of people was like, well, when did you decide you didn't have your money? Because you definitely didn't come back to us on the radio, on the platform that you introduced us to this man on, to tell us, hey, you might want to stop sending this man money. He duped me out of $500,000. He might dupe you too. If you didn't come back and do that, why should people believe that you weren't in on it? Maybe the money that Caesar got, you are entitled to a percentage based on some agreement between you and him. So if that's not the case, then what do you expect people to believe when it comes to why you decided to be the face of this investment? It just doesn't make sense. Something ain't clean in the milk, okay? And when it comes to making sure that you are investing in a credible place, a lot of people are going to stop at the credible person who introduced them. So you got to be careful about what you put your name on. So in addition to the Fendom and nacho cheese today, the takeaway here could also be, make sure you know who you're giving your money to, whether you're doing Fendom or whether you're doing real estate with DJ Envy. Make sure you know where your money is going, what you expect in return, and you have a clear understanding of your role in that dynamic. You don't want to look up and have buyer's remorse, or you don't want to feel duped into something that you weren't completely clear on what the results would be. I know a lot of the people who invested with DJ Envy, they didn't really have much past DJ Envy to rely on, and they dumped their savings. Many people dumped money that they were going to use on other properties and decided to go with this opportunity as a property investment. They literally had money set aside to invest in properties and chose to go with DJ Envy and ended up losing all of that investment. So you've got to make sure you are aware of where your money is going. If you are in one of these Fendom relationships, I still think it's a good idea to know where your money's going. You don't know where you're sending your money to. And what if somebody's just telling you what they're telling you and using your money for something that could actually be harming you? You don't want to be funding your own demise. And that goes in both scenarios. So in this week's Nacho Cheese, know where your money's going. Know what you expect as far as an investment, and do your research into who's receiving that money, what's supposed to be done with it, and what's your recourse in the event that that's not what happens. Because I know that this Caesar guy is definitely facing some legal challenges, and I believe he's trying to pull DJ Envy into that. If I'm not mistaken, his house was raided, or there was some search into his personal property. I even heard allegedly there was some investigation at the Breakfast Club. So, you don't want to end up exposing your legitimate things because you ended up dealing with something that wasn't so legitimate, that you didn't thoroughly vet before you decided to pour your money into it. I have a hard time giving somebody $10 without knowing exactly what I'm supposed to expect when it comes to me getting my $10 back, if I'm going to give it back. So I'm definitely not going to give you hundreds or thousands and I don't know what's happening. We got to thoroughly vet what we're doing here. So I know I wouldn't have did it. I'm not a fan of those kinds of things. I have to have other checks and balances in place before I go giving somebody on the radio tens of thousands of dollars. I don't care who faces on it. That's just me though. And you know what I say is not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. So that's how I get down. That's what I would have did. Yes, indeed. Now I'm gonna slide over to my chat. I see a couple of people are definitely giving me some feedback on that nacho cheese with DJ Envy. Trap Buddha said, Dave, finally we agree. millions of dollars. Trap Buddha said millions of dollars were compromised in that DJ Envy and Caesar debacle. So that's crazy. It's a lot of money to be duping people out of, especially people who are donating their savings. Or I shouldn't say donating. I mean, I ultimately turned it to a donation because you're not getting it back, but dumping their savings into these investments, and it's just gone. Like the second you send it, it's just gone. It's sad. Wayne Almighty in the chat. Hey Wayne, how are you? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. DJ Envy said invest with us. He sure did. So Mr. Entertainment said that part, Nacho. So I'm glad a lot of us were able to kind of catch that. I do hope that we got the takeaways from that experience. They say a wise man learns from his mistakes, or a smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Let that be a lesson to us. You know, make sure you're vetting people that you investing your money into. Otherwise, don't invest money that you want back, or that you expect to get back. Because if you're not going to even look into it to see, you know, who it is, don't expect somebody to look into it to make sure they get it back to you. That's not how that works. So right now we are at the midpoint of our Nacho Sundays. And we are going to take a small break. But when we come back, we're going to get into the rest of our Nacho. I'm going to see you in a second.
Nacho Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Live on
now listening to the Nacho Podcast, brought to you by the EBL Network. If it ain't exclusive, it don't matter. It's not your time to talk, it's time to listen. So pull up to the table with your plate and pay attention. It's not your time to talk, Nacho Sunday. It's something different. This is not your opinion, and you don't wanna miss it. It's not your time to talk. Time for the show.
And we're back. Y'all caught me trying to sneak some water. But I definitely want to get into the second part of our Nacho. And for those of you who are faithful Nachotarians, you know that the next part of the show is the beefy Nacho. And in the beefy Nacho, we talk about beef or conflict wherever it may exist in the world. And in this week's episode of the beefy Nacho, it is Hollywood versus exposés. Can we all say it together, class? Expose. When I say everybody is getting exposed, it's I mean, who isn't in line to expose something? It's going completely mad out here. Just to name a few of the exposés that are out here right now. Let's just say that I'm going to say that Will and Jada probably set it off, you know, pun intended. They definitely, I think Jada thought she was going to expose some things about Will directly or indirectly, allegedly. And ultimately that started into this whole rollout of expose things from the Smiths in their household. And ultimately, Jada was trying to push a book. So I think the last season and last time we talked about Will and Jada, the slap happened, right? So since then, Jada Pinkett has also put out a book, and she was trying to do like press runs for this book, but I think it kind of got out of hand more than what she was expecting or could handle. And it just turned into this whole expose about Will maybe being down low, Jada maybe being his beard, and all types of just weirdo things. And then you had Lizzo getting exposed for maybe essaying some of her dancers or asking them to do things that wasn't so dancer like, I guess maybe, so they were coming out at Lizzo and just saying that she was not who we may have thought she was when it comes to empowerment and girl power and all of this other stuff. And then, the big whammy, Diddy. Now, of all the names that we've got for Diddy, P Daddy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love, I think I like Dirty Diddy the best because Cassie didn't hold back. From what I understand of the 60 plus page cut down to 30 plus page legal document filed by Cassie detailing her relationship with Diddy in such a way as to describe certain aspects of SA. I think you guys know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And the things that she described with Diddy and his freak offs and the like and his preferences, it just got all the way out of hand. Okay. Now, a lot of people were trying to say, this woman was out for money. She just was trying to get a bag from Diddy. But again, in the name of exposing Hollywood, there were a couple of other people who saw what Cassie did and said, got to be quicker than that. Not so fast, Diddy. There was a gentleman who said that Diddy essayed him in college. There was a college young lady who said that Diddy drugged her at a restaurant and to the tune that she couldn't get out of the car. And when she was about her wits, she found herself alone with Diddy being essayed. There was another young lady from around my hometown, Detroit, who was trafficked in a private plane from Detroit or from Michigan to New York and back. And I mean, it did not stop. Like Diddy was literally the gate holding back a lot of secrets. And people who ended up being exposed along with him turned out to be people who were higher ups in Bad Boy. Bad Boy's president was exposed. There was even allegations that Diddy was a Clive Davis protege, and that's who originally turned Diddy out when it came to these perversions that he likes. And he put that onto other people. It didn't matter, women, men, boys, allegedly. And one of the people who caught a stray in that whole thing was TD Jakes. And he ended up getting exposed. And the term power bottom, yes, we said it, it was put on this man, and all of his religious business was on the expose train. And then in comes Christian Keys. Christian Keys decides that, he wants to expose some essay in his career and drop some, I'm not even going to call them breadcrumbs. I'm going to say that he dropped loaves of bread as to who it could actually be that he was speaking about in his expose. And then it turns out that it was really allegedly, that his expose was a strategy to make a play for his TV show, All the Queen's Men, and make sure that it stayed within his control of manipulation and creativity. It just, expose was just the name of the day. And then to top it all off, we're still in January, people. We haven't even gotten out of January good. And just, oh my gosh. I mean, this is going to be one heck of a year. And in the whole name of expose, it didn't stop at just the singers and actors in Hollywood. Comedy was not off the shooting range. Cat Williams finally said enough is enough. And he decided that for everything that was said about him, he's going to respond on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp's show. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. And he was going to set the record straight, and he was not going to allow any further mishandling of his name. And when I tell you he rolled out a scroll that had to be as long as he was, it did not stop with who was catching shots. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, both accused of stealing jokes. And ultimately, as the internet does, they were exposed. The jokes were discovered that Cat Williams pointed out were stolen, and turns out there's proof. There were also some shots fired at Tiffany Haddish. There were also some flowers given for Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac, during the Cat Williams interview, was cited as being one of the reasons why Cat did not go on to the Kings of Comedy. So I don't know if any of you guys knew, I didn't know before the interview, that Cat Williams was offered a position on the Kings of Comedy, and he turned it down. And his reason for turning it down is because he, quote unquote, you ish on Bernie. So what that means, for those of you who are not aware of the history between Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey, it was rumored that these gentlemen did not like each other, and that Steve Harvey was upset when he found out that Bernie Mac was going to be in the movie, one of the Ocean's installments. And he contacted the directors to suggest that he would be a better fit. And why would they want to use him when he could do it, in him being Bernie Mac? Why would they want to use Bernie Mac? Because Steve Harvey was suggesting he could do the role for less money. I don't know if Steve Harvey knew it was going to get back to Bernie Mac, but ultimately it did. And this was a big part of the falling out between the two gentlemen. So once it was discovered by Cat Williams that Steve Harvey tried to push Bernie Mac off of the Ocean's 11 movie and replace him for less money, he wasn't going to fill in the gap and the void left by Bernie Mac after learning that same information. And they weren't going. Cat Williams said, you're not going to use me to fill in for Bernie after you tried to crap on him. So, and I think there's integrity there. I can see being that kind of person, making that kind of decision. You know, when you're somebody who isn't easily bought, isn't easily sold, yeah, you might make that integrity call and say, hey, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take this person's role just because you decided to crap on them and they wouldn't let you. So once this Cat Williams video or interview on Shannon Sharp's show went viral, the expose spirit just kept on cruising, and they began to look into Shannon Sharp. And Shannon Sharp was accused of being a member of the other team. He was accused of hanging out with suspicious company. And yeah, again, this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And I don't know a lot of guys that hang out with their stylists. I don't. Just gonna say that. But yes, they were definitely trying to expose Shannon Sharp and saying that, you know, he might have some things that he hasn't quite come to terms with based on this video. And a lot of times people seem to want to keep tabs on how many views the Shannon Sharp video received. And the last time I checked, it was over 50 million. And Shannon Sharp ended up catching some backlash for this video. Some ex-NBA player. I know when I asked a couple of people about the guy, I don't know his name. I'm sorry, forgive me. But they were calling him the fake gangster of basketball. Maybe y'all know who that is. I only know him by sight. I can't think of his name, but he had a lot to say about the video, saying that, you know, I wouldn't have let somebody talk about my friends. And, you know, he seemed really old and gangsterly, really, really out of touch, really, really unadult. but he had a problem with the video. I believe Faison Love, who also caught shots fired in that video, he was not too pleased. He said that Cat Williams was overrated. And it turns out that some people were trying to say that even Shannon Sharp conducted a bad interview. He didn't ask the right questions, and it was an attack from all angles. So when it came to being in the spirit of expose, it seems like there's just this domino effect of exposing things that is going on. And I know from a spiritual side, a lot of times people believe that this year in particular, 2024, is going to be one of those years where definitely things come to light. Thank you, Oflo. I appreciate you for turning in. Steven Jackson, that's who I was talking about. They call him the fake gangster of basketball. That guy. He was not, he felt that, Shannon Sharp should have maybe put Cat Williams in the headlock or something. I don't know, but it was really childish, really, really unintelligent. I feel like I lost a few brain cells just even looking at his response, but he was not happy with the video. He felt like Shannon Sharp let Cat Williams say some things that he shouldn't have been saying. And I'm just not sure how you can, control what comes out of somebody's mouth. I didn't know that you could do that, on a platform such as Shannon Sharp's platform. But okay. Anywho, it seems like things are definitely coming to light. And from what I recall, I don't recall 2023 taking off this fast as far as exposing things. I didn't recall 2022 taking off this fast as far as exposing things. And I know definitely coming out of COVID, I expected people to be a lot more vocal than they had in the past, just from being stuffed up and cramped up because of this virus that had us all prisoners in our own home. But I have to say all of those are unparalleled to me when it comes to how 2024 is taking off with this whole expose. And, mark my words, I think there are going to be more exposés to come. We are not even out of January. Okay. And again, this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And I think we're going to see more exposés. I'm claiming it. There are going to be more things that come out that I think are going to surprise people. I think that is the element of what is happening with this type of expose we're experiencing right now. It's the surprise element. There are some things where it's like, okay, yeah, that's Hollywood's worst kept secret. We knew that. But then there are some other things that are coming out and it's like, wait a second. Hold the phone, huh? I did not see that one coming. We're even seeing Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj are going at each other. The beef is real in Hollywood and people are anxious and eager, it seems, to expose one another. So I'm anticipating that there are going to be much of the same. And I think a lot of this is going to happen prior to April. I'm expecting first quarter exposés to be off the chain. So I think the first 90 days of 2024 are all going to be eye-opening for a lot of us. Speaking of us, I'm going to slide over to my chat again. And we have got Wave and Blaze Dave is never letting us down. He talking about catching me drinking water. I was trying to drink during the break, but this is the first show back for season 2, and I got to get acclimated again. But I think we floating, team. Yes, shout out to my Nachotarians. Sphinx is in the building. Of course, Oflo is in the building. He's the one that helped me out with that basketball player's name. Sphinx said, "Did he always want people to take that?" He does. He really does. And now he's changed it and messed it up for everybody. I don't think anybody ever wants to take that again. He's definitely jacked that up for all of us. You take that, Diddy. We good. We don't want it no more. You keep it. King EVL is in the building, hanging out with us. OG Scoundrel. I want to say, I know the last time we were here in season 1, the OG family was expecting, and since then, I want to say congratulations to OG and his family on their beautiful bundle of joy. Beautiful baby boy. A face you want to give all your rent money to. It's just don't make no sense. No baby be that cute. But congratulations to them. And also, Dave is making jokes. He's saying that they say and battle rap is messy. Hollywood is messier. Okay. Hollyweird is being exposed at unparalleled speeds. And I'm not sure that Hollywood is going to survive because it seems like expose is more of a tool now than before. It used to be that you could use a good scandal and tie up the media for about a good 3-4 months. Now you get about 2 weeks and they are on to the next one because these scandals are coming fast and furious. And it's not, I don't think that they are going to let up prior to April. Again, I think the first 90 days are just going to be off the chain. I think we all going to need a breather when it comes to the end of March. So moving on in our nacho, of course, one of the last portions of our show when we devour our nacho is the veggie nacho. And in the veggie nacho, we talk about our health. We talk about things that help us live better. And this week in the veggie nacho, we are going to talk about our food scraps, ways to grow food scraps or food from your scraps, and the importance of growing food, period. There have been quite a few grocery store recalls in the news lately, or at least last I checked. Grocery stores were recalling just food by the droves. It wasn't just some one thing. Sometimes it's the eggs, sometimes it's the hamburger. This time it was the lettuce, the eggs, the spinach, the hamburger. It was everything. And it's getting riskier and riskier to depend on the grocery store for your food source. You don't want to feel like if somebody wanted to take you out strategically, all they have to do is limit your access to food. And because you're dependent on all of your food being in the grocery store, you are not able to sustain yourself. We've got to start being proactive and smarter about how we're going to get ourselves sustenance. So I was scrolling in my Instagram and I saw this woman who had grown food from her food scraps. So a lot of times people, when they cook, maybe they make a bag where they can put all of their scraps into it. And sometimes some of those scraps are very valuable. I know a lot of times with bell peppers, you have a cluster of bell pepper seeds at the very center of the bell pepper below the stem. Well, you can actually sprout more bell peppers from those seeds. You can do similar things with onions. Tomatoes are really simple to grow. You can actually take tomato slices, bury them shallowly in some good soil, water it, and that will definitely sprout you a tomato vine. And I've also found that sometimes tomatoes will repeat. I know there are times where I may have thrown a scrap outside and ultimately a tomato vine popped up. Winter came, killed the vine, but next winter, that vine was in the same spot coming back. So that might be a repeat fruit or vegetable. Some of us call it vegetable, but it's really a fruit. But I would suggest you guys look into that. We cannot depend on Kroger, Publix, Piggly Wiggly to feed ourselves. We just can't. We have to think that way about water as well. At worst, stock up on water. Utilize some of that garage space where you've got rakes and shovels all on the ground. Push those rakes and shovels to the side of the garage and then stack your garage with some water. Make sure you have access to water. One of the worst things that you would want to do is look up and not be able to have access to water, even if you've got access to food. Water is going to help you clean yourself, clean your hands, keep down germs. And it's also 70+% of what your body is made of. So you're going to definitely need water. We have to seriously think about these things, and we need to think about recycling some of the things that we have in order to make sure we have a way to keep ourselves healthy. We don't teach these things in our schools. Okay. Our kids are not coming home with farming skills. We need to be able to teach these things at home, and we need to demonstrate them at home, because if something should happen, they're not going to care. And they, meaning those who provide these services for you now, these grocery stores, WIC and all of that stuff. Your WIC card ain't going to mean nothing when there's nothing to go get from the grocery store. So while you out here looking for somebody who gets stamps so you can buy half of them, what you going to buy if there's no access to the grocery store? You've got to be able to grow your own food. you definitely need to be able to get access to water. If you are not stocking up on these things, you are behind. This is 2024. And from my mouth to your ears, I really think that there are going to be some drastic changes to our way of living in 2024. I really believe that there are going to be changes that we might not have been ready for, that are not, we're not going to be able to go back from. And if you can sustain yourself on your own strip of the world, that's probably one of the safest and best places to be, because it's not going to get easier. These recalls are out of control. The contaminants that they're using as far as pesticides, those are getting harsher. One of the major companies that produces pesticides was also the company that produced Agent Orange. So is that who you want controlling the pest on your food? And then you bring that food home to your family, and regular water doesn't rinse it off. You have to do all of these other things to get off wax coatings and all kinds of other scary things that people are putting into your food. Bill Gates has bought Bragg's vinegar with Katy Perry. He bought that. That's gone. So that apple cider vinegar is, nope, not the same buyers. And what you might also want to look into is other Bragg's products. Make sure those are still owned by the Bragg's family, or did those get bought too? Because something you used to be able to rely on to stay healthy has now been bought by something or someone who ultimately wants to control your food. Okay. Bill Gates has bought a disgusting amount of land in order to be able to grow certain modified food. And it's gonna, if our grocery stores stock up, I'm pretty certain it's going to be stocked up full of what's most convenient to do so. And I believe that Bill Gates is going to make that very convenient for our grocery stores to sell his food. So if you are concerned where you want to make sure you are eating healthy, you are eating something that doesn't have all the bull crap in it, you might want to start growing your own food, especially from the food that you are putting in the trash as scraps. I would even suggest soliciting your farmers markets. Develop a relationship with a farmer. Look at some places where people are exchanging hand to goods and they don't have a middleman where it's being trucked in from somewhere. And make sure that you know where they are locally, so that if you need to drive directly to them and can't meet them at some marketplace, you can do that. I believe it's going to be pivotal, you guys. I believe it's going to be necessary to do so when it comes to our future, especially with how we're going to stay healthy, how we're going to eat. I think one of the Nacho Sundays episodes from last season, we talked about how they were putting vaccines in the lettuce. You know, that lettuce is going to end up on your Big Mac. That lettuce is going to be on top of your Whopper. Okay. You want a vaccine you didn't ask for because it's in your food, because they know people are afraid of needles, and now they're going to just find a quick way to get the vaccine into our food. And I'm going to give you one guess as to who's producing that lettuce. BG, and not the rapper. Yeah, Bill Gates. So yeah, you guys might want to do it sooner than later. Okay, it's my encouragement to you. And from there, we are going to move into our Nacho Supreme. And my Nachotarians know that in the Nacho Supreme, this is where we talk about our knowledge nugget. We discuss things that would help us get through this thing we call life, things we wish we knew when we were younger, or just things to help us get by. And this week's Nacho Supreme Nacho Nugget is listen to listen. Don't listen to respond. Many times people will have a preconceived conversation because they already expect a situation to go a certain way. And many times, rather than actually listen to the event in front of them, they're already committed to the event that they've been practicing for in their head. And you can complicate communication that way. So instead of listening to respond, listening to hurry up and speak, listen to hear, listen to listen. Make sure that you are responding to what's happening in the conversation and not some ill feelings you had about how the conversation might go or might have went, because that's not what's happening in front of you. Respond to the situation in front of you by listening. If you're not sure, ask questions. That lets people know that you are listening. Wait, you said, let me make sure I got this. Hold on, let me mirror. Listen to listen so that you can respond appropriately. Don't listen to respond. Many times you hear something that wasn't even said because you've had a conversation in your mind, overthinking, and now all of a sudden you've put words in somebody's mouth, and that's what you're responding to, some ghost in your head. Listen to listen. Don't just listen to respond. You can miss a lot of valuable information that way, and you can definitely compromise communication, and you don't want to do that. So let's make sure we hear each other. Happy 2024, my Nachotarians. And I enjoyed you guys. I can't wait to come back next Sunday with more for Nacho Sundays. I appreciated you guys. Before we get out of here, let me make sure that I run down the Jag versus EBL exclusive battle league card. I can't let you guys forget that. So I'm going to make sure I run this card down again. There's quite the battles on here. Again, this card is going down on February 23rd. This will be EBL exclusive battle leagues and King versus Jag and his team. And we are going to look to see Brills versus Newborn, Villa versus Pyro, Spasmatic versus Quest to God, Lockhart versus Big Kane Marco, Jnormous versus Bullyman Mike, Art versus Traumatos, and that's the S in Toast has a $, Miss Vicious versus Everything Sin, Punch God versus Tay Spears. Oh, and I don't think I saw this one before. C Note is going to be on this card. C Note versus Lil K. Okay, I don't think I read that one before, so that's a surprise. And for those of you who did not know, one of the special judges will be Danny Myers, as well as Get Your Bars Up Media and Rambo. So we have got quite the lineup. It's going to be on Twitter live February 24th. Don't forget, make sure you are subscribed to all the correct channels. Make sure that you are following all the correct Twitter pages now, or formerly known as Twitter, now X. Make sure you're following the correct pages so you can tune in and be a part of the audience on that day. That's February 24th, EBL versus Jag. And we are out, guys. Happy Sunday. Go Lions. I'll see you next Sunday.
Nacho Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m.
We appreciate everybody for stopping by. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. And don't just watch the battle, be part of the battle. All you gotta do, look in the description, click the link to the Discord, be part of the audience live.
Oops. Bye, y'all.